Welcome to Darkness in the Night. Tonight, I'll tell you a story about a ride with no return ticket. A midnight taxi journey where the driver thought he was picking up a little girl, but the one sitting in the backseat wasn't among the living. It happened around 2019, on National Highway 51, passing through the Longtan Industrial Zone in Dong Nai. That stretch of road was familiar to many, trucks rumbling by. Sparse street lights, and rows of acacia trees and tall wild grass lining both sides. Every night, thick fog blanketed the highway. Only the sound of insects and the wind slapping against car windows broke the silence. Uncle Hai, a Vinasun driver with over 10 years behind the wheel, was a kind, quiet man. That night, a little after midnight, he took his last fare before heading back to his small rented room near Phuoc Bridge. The booking showed a pickup at the Longtan Industrial Zone gate. The passenger's name, Little H. When he arrived, his headlights swept over a girl of about 10, wearing a white dress, her hair tied in two pigtails. Standing near a streetlight, her face was pale, and her big eyes stared straight at the car. He rolled down the window and asked softly, "Where are you going, little one? It's late, why aren't you home?" The girl didn't answer. She smiled faintly, then opened the door and climbed into the backseat. A strange scent drifted in, not perfume, but a cold, damp smell, like clothes that hadn't dried. She spoke softly. "Please take me to Longtan High School, okay?" Her voice was clear, polite. Uncle Hai nodded and started the engine. The car rolled forward through the fog. The highway was deserted, with only the patchy yellow glow of the lamps sweeping across the trees. After about 10 minutes, Uncle Hai looked in the rearview mirror. The girl sat still, gazing out the window. But strangely, even though the car was moving fast, her hair didn't move at all. Her reflection in the mirror flickered, sometimes clear, sometimes fading. Trying to make small talk, he asked, "Are you going to a night class?" The girl shook her head gently. "I forgot something at school. My mom told me to get it." "Oh, do you live nearby?" "Yes, in Phuoc village," she replied, her voice soft, almost carried by the wind. As they drove further, Uncle Hai suddenly saw, under a dim streetlight, another little girl standing by the roadside, same white dress, same hairstyle, but her face was ghostly white, her head bowed, arms hanging limply at her sides. He blinked hard, gripping the steering wheel tightly. When he looked back in the mirror, the backseat was empty. No one was there. Cold sweat drenched his neck. He slammed on the brakes, heart pounding. When he turned around, the car doors were still shut, and the seatbelt was half buckled. The cushion was still sunken, as if someone had just been sitting there. "Sikan, little one," he stammered, his voice trembling. From the passenger seat came a sudden chill. The little girl was sitting there now, in the front seat, head bowed, playing with the strings of her dress. Her face looked sunken, her skin pale, her dark eyes were bottomless, reflecting no light at all. "Uncle, I'm so tired," she whispered, her voice rasping like the wind's breath. Uncle Hai broke into a sweat, trembling as he stammered, "Who are you?" The girl slowly raised her head and smiled faintly, revealing unnaturally white teeth. "I'm almost home now, don't be afraid, Uncle." Then she pointed ahead. The road sign glowed faintly in the headlights, Dong Nai General Hospital 4 kilometers. At the next intersection, she told him to turn right. Uncle Hai obeyed, his chest tightening as though someone was squeezing his heart. The road was empty, only the soft hum of the engine filled the air. Suddenly, the car radio switched on by itself, playing a distorted children's song. Musical note, 3 shining candles. Musical note. The child's voice mixed with static, fading in and out. The girl began to sing along, off-key, trembling, then suddenly went silent. Uncle Hai turned to look. The seat beside him was empty. No one there, only the fogged window still bore tiny handprints, faint and wet. The taxi rolled forward through the mist. The headlights pierced the fog, revealing a funeral by the roadside. He slammed on the brakes, heart about to burst. Under the harsh light, on the altar photo, was the same little girl's face, the one who'd been in his car. The black letters stood out on the white paper. Nguyen Th. Born 2009, died 2019. Traffic accident on National Highway 51. Panic-stricken, Uncle Hai jumped out of the car and ran. Villagers rushed over, asking what happened, but his face had gone ghost white, lips trembling, unable to speak. When he finally turned back, his taxi was still there. Engine running, rear door slightly ajar, the dim yellow cabin light flickering, as if someone had just stepped out. The wind howls through the mic. A faint funeral bell tolls in the distance. They said that after that night, Uncle Hai lay bedridden for 9 days. His body icy cold. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the girl sitting in the back seat, smiling faintly. When he recovered, he sold his car, quit driving, and started fixing engines at a small roadside workshop. He thought it was over, but little did he know, she was still looking for someone to take her home. Sound of an engine starting in the distance. The wind roars past the microphone. A few months later, another driver received a booking from the same phone number as that night. The passenger's name was still Little H. Eerie music swells. The wind carries the sound away. But the story didn't end there, because someone else picked up the same ride from the girl who had already died. After Uncle Hai quit driving, the company resold his taxi to a young driver named Dung, 29, who had just moved from Saigon to Dong Nai to start a new life. Dung didn't believe in ghosts. He always joked, "Old men are just weak-hearted. Ghosts? If I ever meet one, I'll give her a free ride." On his first night with the car, Dung cleaned it thoroughly. In the backseat, he noticed a faint smudge shaped like a small handprint. He snickered and muttered, "Kids with sticky candy hands. That's all, nothing scary." But the smell inside the car was strange, not air freshener. Not perfume, it was a cold, sterile scent, like wind from a morgue. Dung shrugged, turned on the music, and started the engine. Around 11:30 p.m., his app pinged, a new booking from Longtan Industrial Park. The passenger's name, Little H. He laughed. What a coincidence. Probably some kid pranking around. Curiosity beat fear, and Dung tapped accept. When he arrived, under the flickering yellow street light, a little girl in a white dress stood silently by the gate. Her head was bowed, hair falling over her cheeks. The wind blew softly, making her dress billow as if someone real was standing there. He rolled down the window. "Hey, where are you going this late?" Her voice was tiny, but clear. "Can you please take me to Dong Nai Hospital?" Dung's heart pounded. Uncle Hai's story flashed through his mind, but he forced a shaky smile and said, Okay, get in." The rear door clicked open. A wave of cold air rushed in, mixed with the earthy stench of wet soil and the sharp bite of disinfectant. Dung shivered and stepped on the gas. The road was empty, just the rumble of tires and the wind whistling past the windows. The girl sat motionless in the back seat, eyes fixed straight ahead. "Are you sick? Why are you going to the hospital at night?" Dung asked, trying to sound casual. "I forgot something," she breathed weakly. "My mom's waiting there." A chill crawled down his spine. In the rearview mirror, her reflection began to fade, just a faint outline, like a shadow rippling underwater. Suddenly, the car swerved. Dung slammed the brakes. When he looked up, another little girl stood in the middle of the road. Just a few meters ahead, same dress, same hair, but her face was ghost white, blank, with no pupils. He screamed and jerked the steering wheel. The taxi veered into the grass. When he caught his breath again, through the mist, she was sitting in the front seat. Her face was inches away, skin pale like wax, cold and wet. Drops of water slid from her soaked hair onto Dung's lap. She smiled faintly, her voice shrill. "Uncle, take me home?" Who are you?" Dung stammered, gripping the wheel tightly. "Don't you remember?" She tilted her head, eyes dark and hollow. "This car used to belong to Uncle Hai." Dung screamed and stomped on the brake, but the car wouldn't stop. The speedometer jumped wildly, 60, 70, 90. The road on both sides blurred into streaks of light. From the radio came the sound of children laughing, mingled with the same distorted song. Musical note, 3 shining candles, shining with love. Musical note. The girl turned toward him, her grin stretching unnaturally wide across her face. From her neck, a dark bruise spread across the collar of her white dress. The metallic scent of blood filled the air. Dung squeezed his eyes shut and shouted, "Get out, I'm not taking you anywhere." The laughter stopped. When he opened his eyes again, the car was motionless in the middle of the road. The clock read 12:45 a.m. The seat beside him was empty, only a seatbelt looped loosely around nothing. He pushed the door open and stumbled out, gasping in the cold air. The wind howled, and thick fog swallowed the world around him. Through the mist, a small figure in a white dress slowly appeared, standing behind the taxi. Head bowed, she whispered, "Don't drive me anymore." Before he could move, the figure faded, then vanished completely into the fog. After that night, Dung quit his job and sold the taxi for scrap. People later said that whenever anyone tried to sit inside that car, the radio would switch on by itself, playing the same old children's song, and a tiny wet handprint would appear on the rearview mirror. Later, Vietnamese system log added a note: "Do not accept bookings under the name, h system error." But strangely, even now, drivers sometimes still hear the chime. Passenger, h, is waiting at Longtan Industrial Park. And whoever dares to accept the ride, will hear the radio softly sing. Musical note, 3 shining candles, shining. Musical note. The second story. Tonight, I'll tell you about a room. A place where people say that even if you're completely alone, someone will still be lying right next to you. That place is room 512, dormitory block B at Kintho University. The dorm was ancient, the walls were cracked and peeling, the ceiling stained with smoke, and the hallways were long and narrow, lit only by a few flickering fluorescent bulbs at night. The air carried a mix of mold, sweat, and cheap laundry detergent, a familiar scent for students, but with something else beneath it, something cold and sour, like the breath of the dead. The storyteller was Min, a first-year student from Sok Trang, quiet, polite, and mild. On his first night moving into room 512, he was excited. The room had 2 bunk beds, each for 2 people. The walls were marked with dark smudges like candle soot, and on the floor were faint, round stains, like old, dried blood. That night, all his roommates had gone home, so Min was alone. He lay on the lower bunk, wrapped in a thin blanket, scrolling through TikTok until after 11 before turning off his phone. Outside, the wind hissed through the door cracks, and somewhere down the hall, a dripping faucet tapped steadily, plink, plink. The damp, metallic smell of the bathroom drifted in with the breeze. Min turned on his side, eyes half closed. Then, the sound of slippers dragging, slap, slap, echoed faintly down the corridor. The steps were slow, even, drawing closer and closer. Through his half-open eyes, Min saw the hallway light flicker, as if someone was walking past the door. Then, his bed curtain stirred. Min opened his eyes fully, listening hard. A cold draft brushed across his face. Then, a freezing hand grazed his neck, lightly, before pulling away. He shot up, fumbling for his phone's flashlight. No one. The door was still locked. Sweat soaked through his shirt. His voice trembled. Who's there? The sound came again, right beside his bed. Slap, slap? The curtain suddenly jerked downward, then dropped back into place. Min flung off the blanket, the flashlight beam sweeping the room, and froze. On the floor were small, wet footprints, glistening faintly in the light. Swallowing hard, he whispered, "Is someone in here?" No answer, only the creak of the ceiling fan turning overhead. Then, the light flickered twice, and went out completely. Darkness swallowed everything. In that suffocating blackness, Min heard breathing. Right behind him. A whisper. "That's my spot?" He screamed and bolted for the door. Slamming into it, the doorknob was icy cold, frozen stiff. As if someone was gripping it from the other side. He twisted with all his strength. The door burst open, crashing against the wall. The corridor outside was empty, dimly lit by a distant bulb flickering on and off. Min ran down, gasping for breath. A security guard downstairs looked up from his chair. Voice raspy. "What's wrong, kid?" I heard someone in my room." The guard squinted. "Which room?" 512. At that, the old man froze. His cigarette slipped from his fingers. 512? My God, why are you still in there? "Why, sir?" Min stammered. The guard looked around, then lowered his voice. "A student died there last year. Hung himself, right on the bottom bunk. People say they still hear the footsteps and feel the cold." Min's face went pale. "Then, why didn't the school close it off?" "They did, cleaned it out, sealed it, but anyone who sleeps there gets scared off. I thought that room was locked." The night wind whistled through the hallway, echoing like a low moan. The guard grabbed his key ring. "Come on, sleep in the security office tonight. We'll tell the admin to move you in the morning." Min nodded, heart still pounding. As the two of them walked down the corridor, the sound of footsteps, slap, 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 drifted down from the 5th floor above. The guard stopped, eyes wide, whispering, You hear that too?" Min nodded. The footsteps stopped, right outside room 512. Then, a childlike voice murmured, faint but clear, "Give me back my bed?" The door to 512 rattled softly, creak, creak. Though no one touched it, the light in the hall flickered once more, then went out completely, drowning the entire floor in heavy, suffocating darkness. Music fades, the wind howls, the dragging footsteps slowly fade away. That night, Min couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw a pale, hanging face, eyes rolled white, tongue swaying slowly in the air. People later said that room 512 never harmed anyone, it just wanted its old spot back. But if anyone tried to sleep on the bottom bunk, it would sleep with them. And the next night, Min went back, driven by a reckless thought. To find out who was really sharing his bed. Wind shrieks through the mic. The music cuts off abruptly. The next morning, after hearing the old guard's story, Min was temporarily moved to another room. But in his head, the sound of slippers dragging, slap, slap, and that whisper from the night before, "Give me back my bed," kept echoing. The more he thought about it, the more uneasy he felt. Part curiosity, part the haunting sense that something still wasn't right. That afternoon, he went back to room 512, intending to grab his belongings. As he unlocked the door, a wave of cold air spilled out. The room felt heavy, thick with humidity and the faint, burnt scent of half-burned incense. On the lower bunk, the blanket was still indented, as if someone had just been lying there. Beside it sat a clay bowl holding a single incense stick, burned halfway down, its ashes scattered across the sheet. Min whispered softly, "I'm just here to get my stuff. I won't bother anyone." The wind crept in from somewhere, creaking the window open. The curtain fluttered, like a hand brushing past it. He trembled as he stepped forward and grabbed his backpack. Then, a faint clattering noise came from under the bed, like something being dragged across the floor. Min crouched down, phone flashlight in hand. A coiled, frayed rope lay there, its knot still smeared with dried, black mud. He stumbled back, heart pounding. This is." A whisper drifted close to his ear, almost touching his skin. "It hurts?" Min jolted upright, spinning around, no one. Then the light flickered wildly. In that stuttering glow, he saw a figure standing by the bed, head tilted, neck bent sharply to one side, face bruised purple, and feet swaying gently in midair. Min fell backward, frozen in shock. The figure slowly turned. Its tongue hung long, almost to its chest, the hollow sockets of its eyes dark and endless. The hoarse voice rasped. "You slept in my bed?" "No, I didn't know." Min stammered, backing into the corner, clutching his phone. "I didn't want to die." The ghost moved closer, the rope around its neck creaking, squeak, squeak. "They made fun of me? I was scared. I hung myself. Now, I'm so cold." A chill gust hit Min's face, thick with the metallic rot of decay. The air smelled like long dead rats and incense smoke. Min tried to scream, but no sound came out. In a panic, he grabbed the incense bowl and hurled it forward. It shattered with a sharp crash. The figure vanished. Only the slow whir of the ceiling fan remained, and the rope dropped heavily onto the floor. Min crawled toward the door, desperate to escape, when he heard it again. Slap, slap. He turned. Sitting on the lower bunk was a young man in a student uniform. His face sunken in gray, a deep ligature mark still visible around his neck. He smiled faintly, whispering, "Stay with me?" The door slammed shut, the lights went out, the room was swallowed in darkness. Min screamed and pounded on the door. Outside, the night guard heard the noise and ran upstairs. When he forced the door open, the room was empty. No Min. Only a phone lay on the floor, screen glowing, voice recorder still running. From it came nothing but the sound of wind, and a weak male voice repeating over and over. "So cold, so cold." The next morning, they found Min collapsed in the fifth-floor hallway, lips blue, eyes wide open. The doctor said he had severe hypothermia, even though the weather that day was over 30 degrees Celsius. When he finally woke up, Min said nothing. He just begged to leave the dorm for good. As for room 512, it's been locked ever since. But the guards still say that every night on patrol, they hear slippers dragging down the fifth-floor corridor, and smell incense smoke drifting in the air. Some claim that if you peek through the door crack, you can still see two shadows lying on the lower bunk, one alive, one dead, sharing the same blanket. The third ghost story. Tonight, I'll tell you about a mirror, one that reflects not just your own image, but also the face of the dead. It happened in Anthoy Ward, Binh Thuy District, Can Tho, inside an old family house belonging to Mrs. Hong. She lived there with her husband, Uncle Ba, her elderly mother, Mrs. Sao, and her 8-year-old son, Bin. They were a kind, humble family, running a small home business, never in conflict with anyone. But one sweltering morning in May, tragedy struck. Bin suffered a sudden asthma attack and went limp in his mother's arms. They rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late. The funeral took place under a scorching sun, with the wind from the How River carrying the thick smell of incense and river silt through the house. None of the mirrors or the TV screens were covered. Mrs. Sao whispered, "Poor child, dying so young. His spirit must still be wandering around." Neighbors urged her to cover the mirrors, warning, "If his spirit hasn't left yet and he sees his reflection, he'll follow it." But Uncle Bob brushed them off, scoffing, "Nonsense, my boy's gone, what's he gonna see in a mirror?" When they began digging the grave, halfway through, a large cobra suddenly slithered out of the earth. The young men panicked, wanting to kill it, but Uncle Ba shouted, "Catch it alive, I'll take it home, we'll cook it for drinks." Everyone refused, but he insisted. That night, he brought the snake home and drank with his younger brother, Kiet, right next to the tall mirror cabinet in the living room. The room filled with the smell of alcohol and cigarette smoke. As they drank, Uncle Ba suddenly froze, staring into the mirror. Through the haze, he saw the faint figure of a child standing behind him, pale-faced, eyes wide open, staring straight ahead. He turned around, no one there. Looked back into the mirror, the boy was still there, lips moving as if whispering something. His hand trembled. The glass of rice wine spilled onto the table. Kiet laughed. "What's wrong, brother? Drunk already? Did you see anyone behind me?" Kiet looked into the mirror. then chuckled. "Just you and me, old man." Uncle Ba didn't reply. He left the room, shaken. That night, he couldn't sleep. Each time he closed his eyes, he heard a child's laughter whispering in his ear. At dawn, they found him dead in front of the mirror, his face purple, one hand still raised as if trying to push something away. His sudden death stunned everyone. Mrs. Cao fainted again and again. Hong cried until her voice broke. The very next night, Kiet, the brother who had been drinking with him, suddenly went mad. He laughed, then sobbed, shouting, "He's calling me. Bin's calling me to come with him." Before anyone could stop him, he ran into the street and was struck by a passing truck. 2 men dead in 2 days. The neighbors began to whisper. Bin's ghost came back to take them. Terrified, Mrs. Cao invited a monk from Phuoc Hao Pagoda to perform a cleansing ritual. The monk stepped inside, paused, and said in a low voice, "The yin energy here is heavy. Did anyone look into a mirror before the incense burned out for the boy?" Mrs. Cao froze. Hong stammered, I did. I just wanted to see if my face looked pale." The monk shook his head gravely. "That mirror. Someone has already looked back at you from the other side. It won't be easy to break that bond now." He took out 3 yellow talismans, instructing them to place one at the main door, one on the ceiling, and one above the bed. Then he warned, "Tonight, no matter what you hear or see, do not look into the mirror." That night, a storm hit, thunder boomed, lightning flashed. Only 3 people remained in the house: Hong, her mother, and her youngest brother, Fong. Wind howled through the metal roof. Rain pattered against the mirror. Fong sat in the living room, pressing the talismans in place, murmuring prayers. At midnight, the air turned thick with incense smoke, swirling around the mirror. The reflection inside twisted, warped, then blurred completely. And from within it, Bin's face appeared. His eyes were swollen, lips purple, a deep mark around his neck. Fong's blood ran cold. The boy's lips moved faintly. "Uncle, help me, I can't get out." Fong backed away, trembling. "Bin, what happened to you?" "Mom forgot to cover the mirror. I got trapped inside." The rain outside intensified. A lightning flash lit up the mirror. Bin's face was clear as day. Then tiny hands began pounding on the glass. Thud, thud, thud. Harder and faster. The room vibrated. The ceiling talisman fluttered and burned away. Fong screamed and ran to call his sister. But when they returned, the mirror had turned pitch black, save for streaks of water shaped like handprints. People say that was only the beginning. Because after that night, the family began a chain of mysterious deaths, one by one. Every morning, someone else was gone. A house of 6, until, day by day, one fewer awoke each dawn. After the night Bin appeared in the mirror, the riverside house grew unbearably heavy. Every corner seemed darker, the damp smell of rot rising like the breath of someone who hadn't drawn air in a long time. The curtain by the window rustled with every gust of wind, soft, rhythmic, like a quiet laugh hiding inside. Grandma Cao began to fade. She sat all day on the porch, staring blankly toward the river. Whenever Hong asked if she was all right, the old woman only whispered, "He hasn't gone yet. I still see him, he keeps playing by the window." One afternoon, while Hong was cooking, she heard a basket fall inside Bin's old room. She rushed in. The wardrobe mirror door had swung open by itself. On the dusty surface was a small handprint, right in the center of the glass. At first she thought she imagined it, but when mist began to gather along the edges, like someone breathing from the inside, a chill ran down her spine. That night, she lay clutching Bin's photo, tears soaking her pillow. The dim lamp reflected faintly on the mirror. Then came a child's whisper, fragile and trembling. "Mom, why did you lock me in here?" The voice was faint, but close. Impossibly close, as if it came from right behind her. She shot upright, looking around. No one. Then her eyes caught the mirror, and she nearly fainted. Inside it sat a small boy, knees pulled to his chest, his hollow eyes staring straight out from the other side. "Ben, is that you?" "Ben?" she gasped, her throat tightening. The boy smiled, a crooked, broken smile. "I'm so cold. Mommy, open the door and let me out." The mirror shuddered slightly. A sharp crack split the silence, a hairline fracture crawling across the glass. Grandma Sao burst in and screamed, "Don't, Hong, do you want to die?" Before her words even faded, a violent gust of wind slammed the window open, bang, and the mirror crashed to the floor, splitting in two. Blood dripped from Hong's hand onto the shattered glass, spreading across the surface. For a split second, the reflection changed, no longer just her face, but dozens of distorted faces, blurred and twisting together. Among them was Ben, thrashing desperately, as if drowning beneath the surface. Grandma Sao pulled her daughter out of the room, chanting prayers under her breath. But as they reached the doorway, she slipped. Her body fell forward, and a shard of glass pierced her throat. Blood sprayed violently, splattering across the broken mirror. Hong screamed, clutching her mother, her cries blending with the faint sobs echoing from within the mirror, a chorus of grief, rising and falling until dawn. After Grandma Sao's funeral, only Hong and her younger brother Fong remained in the house. But Fong couldn't take it anymore. He went to Phuoc Hao Pagoda, knelt for hours, begging the monk to open his spiritual eyes, to find Bin's trapped soul and set it free. The monk looked at him sorrowfully and warned, "The boy is imprisoned in the mirror because of the living sins. If you open your sight to see him, you will bind yourself instead." But Fong insisted. Finally, the monk relented, handing him 3 talismans, saying, "Place one at the door, one on the ceiling, and one above your bed. Each night, light incense and mark your forehead with the ash. If the spirit appears, you may ask only one question. Speak wrongly, and it will take you to." That night, the room filled with the thick scent of sandalwood. Fong sat cross-legged, eyes closed, sweat glistening on his temples. Outside, the moon was faint, half hidden behind a shroud of mist. When the 3rd stick of incense burned out, a soft tap, tap, echoed from the mirror, like fingernails against glass. He opened his eyes. The mirror quivered. Then Bin's face emerged, eyes glowing red, voice hoarse and echoing. "Uncle, open the door, let me out." Fong clutched his prayer beads tightly and whispered, "Bin, what do you want me to do? How can I help you?" The boy smiled weakly, black tears streaking down his pale cheeks. "I just want to go home." "But you're already here, Bin." "No, it's dark here. All mirrors. All dead people." A cold gust swept through the room, the light went out. Fong froze, squeezing his eyes shut and chanting prayers under his breath. When he opened them again, Bin's image was gone, only the sound of a child sobbing echoed from within the mirror. The ceiling talisman burned halfway, then crumbled to the floor. From that day on, Fong stopped eating. He sat motionless, staring into the mirror for hours. No one could pull him away. A few days later, when Hong returned from the market, she found him collapsed, clutching a shard of broken glass, blood streaming down his wrists. On the wall behind him, written in trembling strokes of blood, were the words, "I can't get out." The police ruled it a suicide. But the neighbors swore they had seen something else, that before he died, Fong's reflection was standing inside the mirror, while his real body still sat on the floor. Narration slows, wind howls faintly over the river outside. After Fong's death, only the eldest sister, Mai, dared to step foot inside the house again. She sold it quickly and left town for Saigon. The old house stood abandoned for years. Until 2024. A new apartment complex was built over the property. When the excavators dug into the earth, workers uncovered the body of a child, perfectly preserved, pale white skin, jet black hair, as if buried only yesterday. Incense sticks placed by the grave refused to burn. Candles flickered, but gave no light. And at noon, one of the machine operators swore he saw a little boy smiling in the reflection of his excavator's side mirror. To this day, locals say that whenever it rains at that apartment complex, if you look into the bathroom mirrors on the 5th floor, you can still glimpse a small child, giggling softly, leaving faint wet handprints on the glass. And that was only the beginning. This story now comes to an end. Thank you for listening until the very last moment. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a great deal and helps us create more chilling tales for you to enjoy. If you have any questions, thoughts, or spotted anything we could improve, please share them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and Darkness in the Night will see you again in the next story. Disclaimer: the content in this video is a work of fiction, created purely for entertainment, to bring a haunting and immersive experience to the audience. We do not promote superstition or encourage any dangerous acts mentioned in the story. Any resemblance to real people, places, or events is purely coincidental. Thank you sincerely for supporting Darkness in the Night.